Hello and welcome to Whiteland Restorations. What are we doing today, Leanne?
We're going to be doing a bit of panel alignment on the Talbot.
God, let's wing it. So, we've had all the panels lined up once already on the car, but we took everything off to strip it and epoxy it. So we've got to redo all that work. Fortunately, we know it fits, but this time around we want it fitting a bit better than last time, because this time we're not worried about damaging paintwork or bodywork or anything, because we've got to do all of that stuff now.
We're starting from scratch.
We're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
So we start with the door, because we can't adjust this quarter that is fixed. So we're going to start with the door, get this gap right and the sill gap right, and then we'll move on to getting the wings gap. Wings gaps?
Wings gap. The order of getting everything gapped
Start
is...
the back.
Start the back edge.
Work your way forwards. The front is normally a big old jiggery pokery, a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah. But getting the doors to the rear quarters is the first order of the day.
Step. Yes.
Right then. So let's get our tools and get cracking.
Crack it. As you can see, the door is miles off. It's in fact barely even bolted in.
Ooh.
Wibbly wobbly. That's because some of the bolts are still in this pot. So if you have a look here, the nuts and bolts are on the inside of the pillar. So we're going to be putting the remainder of these bolts on the car from the inside, which is going to be difficult to film.
It is going to be difficult, but I will try my best. We just need to get the door into its rough position.
Yeah. So just for now, we just got to put the bolts in, and then we'll have a go at lining the panel up.
Okay, the hinge on a Talbot is made up of a backing plate, some washers and the bolts. 13mm bolts, so this is what Lewis is going to be adjusting to get the door in the right place. First adjustment, there we go. As you can see, it's also bare metal in there, so we will be rectifying that as well when we take the door. It's quite rusty. Yeah. You know, yet again, we're finding all these little things. That is going to cause problems later on if it's not dealt with.
The first thing I think we're going to do with this is put the latches and catches on. Make sure the door clicks into the right position. Once we've got the back of the door lined up, we should all we need to do then really is lift the front of the door up and get the bolts tightened up, and we should be halfway there.
Halfway there, right. So this catch goes into this.
It's in the rear quarter, and it's slightly too much adjustment on these. So,
well, how it works is there's a floating plate inside here with some captive nuts or thread in the plate. Gives you up and down, forward and backwards adjustment, tightening it up.
Back of this has got little grippies on.
Oh, it has, hasn't it? Look, grippies. You don't see grippies much.
No.
But this is kind of standard on old school cars. It's fiddly as well, isn't it?
It's really fiddly.
Is it even more fiddly with the camera in your face?
Bottom one's weird because it goes through a hole, you know?
Yeah.
You have to put your screwdriver through the hole, which is really strange.
Well, it's very nice of them to do that, though. Again, this won't be the first and the last time this goes in. We're just doing the alignment for the.
I don't know. Maybe we can be lucky and get it in the right place the first time.
Yeah, but it's coming off again when we take the doors off.
Oh yeah, but for lining.
For lining, we might get lucky. Lewis is on 2 for 2 with door alignment at the moment, aren't you? With the Escorts. I mean, I don't know how that happened. You shut the door and it was almost perfect.
Yep.
Jammy sod. Right. So now that is in position.
Let's wiggle the door in place, see if it's anywhere near close.
Right, this is Lewis's first test click. Let's see how it goes. Well, I don't think it counts because the front hinges are all loose. I'm not going to give you that. Okay.
Height's pretty good.
Height's pretty good.
That's all I wanted, was height.
So Lewis is taking the height off this swage line, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, here.
Yep.
And this swage line and this bottom swage line.
Yeah, let me see, get it.
They'll look okay. So
not too bad, not too bad.
If we bolted these up, if I snuck in from the other side and dived over the old.
That's usually my job, but unfortunately, I can't do that at the moment. No. So Lewis is taking over my side of things, and he's going to tighten up these hinges from the inside, get them, because look, they're so loose. They're pretty loose now. You're stuck, chair. Needs a bit of chair lube.
It should slide.
Maybe you need your weight behind it. Right, now Lewis had to use his weight to push the chair back.
Hey, what are you saying?
Not saying anything, I'm saying the chair was sticky.
Oh, too many Easter eggs.
You do love an Easter egg.
Right. We need to somehow get a decent gap on that door, or we're just going to bolt it up where it is. We need a decent gap. We need a gapping thing.
Gap it.
Let's get a gapping thing.
Well, can you just nip the bolts up a little bit so it's not so... This very floppy hinge is going to just lose everything. Lewis is using a quarter inch drive with a 13mm socket and an extension. Isn't it gorgeous? Reach!
Do you know what would be handy?
A small assistant.
An electric one of these.
Do you know what? Luckily, I got one of these as an awesome birthday present. You may use it.
I think that means it's flat.
Oh, for God's sake. Just needs an extra set of hands at this point.
Okay.
There we go. It is handy when you have two of you doing the alignment. But as you can see, the door gaps here. It's looking just a little bit tighter down that bottom corner. And quite even across the sill. So... work from there. Lewis is just doing a open and close test. Catch is nice.
Catch is okay.
The height of the door is good with the
Needs
swage lines. Just needs a little bit of a tweak.
I'm going to call that there until we've got, because it's quite tight down here.
Yeah.
But it's also very tight here.
Can't bring the
so
door
if I
up
brought
anymore.
the door further forwards, that's going to become an issue.
Yeah. Take a look at that gap. Lewis has just popped the wing on just to get.
I could drop the door down at the front, but then that's only going to make that lower gap there worse.
Yeah.
So.
Right, I'll just tell the people at home. Now, what Lewis means is almost twisting the door in the hole to open and close the gap. Oh, look at this focus. To open and close this gap here. So if we twisted it that way, it would bring that in. If we twisted it that way, it would bring it out. But you've got to keep this edge even as well. It's like a 3D jigsaw.
There's a lot of jiggery pokery with panel alignment, so we're going to get the other door on, get the other door lined up, then we're going to move on to wings and bonnet, and then we're just going to have to spend a lot of time fettling, and then probably finishing off with a bit of filler. I
am going to say, when you're doing door alignments, small, tiny adjustments, because one tiny adjustment on a hinge or on a catch, it translates to a big movement, doesn't it, on the panel? So, really take your time.
Right then, ready for the other door?
Let's get the other door done.
Okay.
Right, that's both the doors lined up to the rear quarters.
Well, that's the same door.
Yeah, I know, but we did the other door. Just imagine that.
The other
door's done as well. Next step is to put the wings on.
Let's wing it.
Winging it? No, you're so funny.
It. I know, same joke twice.
Yeah.
Terrible. Need I say more?
I don't think it's self-explanatory. Right.
Yeah, now this is, it's like a non-setting sealer. It's really gooey, it's really good. So it won't be gluing the wings on, it's just going to be filling the gap so no moisture can go, because these areas are unguarded. They have no wheel arch, no splash guards or anything. There's only moisture on, you go through a puddle, it's just going to flick up into here.
Trap between the seams.
And that's when rust starts.
This stuff stops that. Not sponsored, but this stuff's awesome, isn't it?
It helps. It helps.
So just gonna. We have actually had to put this on once already, but now
we
just took it off. We're putting it on again.
So we're just going to put a nice big bead down this side.
Yeah. Job done.
And hopefully it will help.
Of course, it will help.
Moisture Well, not help moisture, but
No,
help
prevent
the...
water ingress between
Oh, those
the
are some
pebbles.
nice words.
Thank you for that, the t-shirt. That's all the sealer on. Now Lewis is bringing the wing over. You got the right wing?
I think so.
Time to offer it up.
Squidge it onto that
Squidge it
rubbed
on.
booty.
Yeah.
Right, we're just getting the bolts into the speed fasteners. And we get all these bolts in, and then they're just going to go in loosely for now.
Yeah, just to keep it in position.
And
Talbot has the old big washer and screw bolt set
huge
up.
washer. We've already painted the backs of the bolt washers. Just to make sure.
Yeah. So Lewis is going to slide it back. Oh, it's definitely moved then.
Oh, that moved.
Oh, that moved.
Oh, that moved.
And some.
Take it back a bit.
Okay.
We can get this back in its all.
To this edge. It's coming together. We're not worrying about bringing it out to the same as the door yet. We're just getting front to back position, aren't we? That's it.
That looks nice to me. There. Right. Let's get something flat and straight. Just make sure things are flat and straight. Don't worry about the front of the wing just of yet. You just need to worry about the back of the wing.
Lewis is using one of our polycarbonate straight edges, aren't you?
Oh, he is. Right, that's nice. Flat across the top. It's flat there.
The bottom of the wing has its own fasteners, so we can pull that out. So we don't need
two
to.
fasteners go in that way and one in the bottom. So that will sort all of this out. It'll pull all that in nice and tight. And be a bit like that. There's not much point in tightening any of these up until the bonnet's on. So we need to get the other wing on, and we need to get the bonnet on, and then there's a whole load of
Final shuffling.
jiggery-pokery.
Yeah. So next step, that's on. It's in its rough position. Leave it alone. We'll do the other side. Get the bonnet on and get the final fitment of the front end before we button everything up.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we'll do the wing, and then we'll come back to you with the bonnet.
Right, the wings are in rough position. Up here, looking good, both sides. The door gap's looking okay.
Beautiful.
So now whilst the fronts are still loose, so whilst we're doing stuff, we need to put the bonnet on. That's the next thing, put the bonnet on.
Bonnet on to get the bonnet shut lines right.
We need to get the bonnet to the back and make sure it's flush with the front, and then adjust the wings accordingly to the
Get
back.
up. Oh. Yay, I did it. Right. Now.
I don't think you'll be helping me put a bonnet on for a while.
No. My bonnet days are over.
We're going to need someone to help us put the Volvo bonnet on.
It's a big bonnet.
Wonder who we can get to help us out.
I'm sure we'll find someone. Right. Now, Lewis has tightened up the bolts at the highest possible point he can. So the bonnet is all the way to the top of the hinge.
Correct.
Correct? Right, go and tighten
up. We do that because when you shut the bonnet, it's better to have it further away from the scuttle than it is to have it smashing into the scuttle. And as these hinges are fairly well painted, they're painted, there's no witness marks to go by.
Right, same again on this side. Bonnet as far up as you can get. Tighten up the bolts. That's your starting point. Lewis is removing the spring catch. Such a good job he's doing too.
I need a screwdriver.
Yeah, I did say get a screwdriver.
Could you fetch me a screwdriver?
Oh my god, look at this dog lying down here. She's got a brand new bed over there. No, I want to lie down on the carpet. Excuse me, dog. Here you go, mister. There we go. Nice and easy. Funny how the right tool makes the job easier, isn't it?
You needed both of those tools. Right, this will make it easier to just quickly open and close the bonnet without that in. So I'm just checking all the gaps around everything now. I've got to check the height of the bonnet. I've got to check the width, making sure the bonnet's running parallel with the wings, making sure the bonnet's running parallel with the scuttle. Scuttle's first because I can't
move the scuttle.
So
Can't move the scuttle.
line it up with the scuttle first and then try and line it up with the wings. If nothing wants to play ball, you have to find the best of the bad situation.
We knew this was pretty good before we've done it once.
It all looks very low down there.
Now if you can see here, there's like a huge ramp. The bonnet is too low in this corner. How are you looking in your corner?
Way too low. The whole thing.
Yeah, very low here. So I'd say, do you want to do height first or do you want to do the gap? Because it's very tight back here as well.
You need to do height first.
Height first, okay.
Right, if you see here, where Leanne showed you it was a bit too low, that's because of where it's bolted in here is also too low. So we're going to have to lift this up. In order to do that, there's two ways to do it. You can either pack it with spacers, washers, whatever, which I don't really like doing unless I absolutely have to. Or you can just lift the wing off and bend that up a little bit and manipulate the steel rather than just pack it up.
Yeah,
it makes it correct rather
than... So before we even start
it.
doing the height of the bonnet, we're going to fix the height of this wing on this side because that step goes all the way around.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
So I've got to take the wing off. And this is what fitting panels is like. It's a lot of...
Take it off, put it on again. And that's if they behave.
Yeah.
When you get a misbehaving one, ooh.
Right, so even though there's a lot of gooiness on there. Oh, gross.
Ooh, yummy.
You can see how well that stuff would have sealed. Stopped all that water ingress.
Right, so Lewis.
I'm just going to tweak this up. I know I'm going to get all the goo on the tool thing.
Just tweaking that bracket.
Right, let's have a look at the wing.
Mm-hmm.
What a lovely wing.
A good look at that now. Right, Lewis, you finished fettling the top edge of that wing?
Yeah, I had to drill out 3 spot welds in the same place, just to there, to allow this sort of movement.
Yeah.
And I put 2 bolts in to the A-pillar from the wing to support it.
Much better.
And now everything's nice and flush.
Beautiful.
That brought this wing up a little bit, and
happy with that.
It's looking quite good. Even the swage line lines up almost. It's a couple of mil off, but I mean I'll accept that for having it flush with the top.
I mean, lucky we're still in the fabrication stage.
Yeah, and I think the spray it's close enough for spray filler to deal with.
Good.
Plenty of little dents in this wing.
There are. Tell you what, how about you get the bolty bolts into that wing, and then we could do the other wing.
This one's done.
Right, get over the other side then.
All
Is
right.
it on? Chop chop.
Bolts.
Come on, we haven't got all day.
No.
What you don't know is Lewis has had a cup of tea and 10 biscuits.
10 biscuits. Oh, I can't have 10 biscuits anymore. I'm only allowed 2 biscuits.
2 biscuit allocation, mister. Right, how's this wing looking? It's better than the other side was, that's for sure. Oh, spin the wheels, yep. We'll be taking the wheels off in a minute anyway, won't we?
Possibly, yeah.
It's always best to do your alignment with the 4 wheels on the floor.
That's true.
And then when you finish your primary setting up, take them off. This is put in the inner bolts. There we go, number 1.
A little bit on the high side. Isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit on the high side, so I'm going to just loosen that off and drop it down a bit.
This is dropping the wing down. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Just got to watch when you're tightening up panels, sometimes they like to move.
I do. Right. The bottom of that door is miles off. If I pull the wing right out, it's still...
What's this way lining up?
out there as well.
Yeah.
But it does line up at the back. Like, could go in a bit at the bottom here. That would kick the top. If you push the bottom of the door in there, it's going to lift the top edge of that door out the back, which it does look like it needs to do a little bit. So we just push this roughly where it wants to be according to the sill. If you could push it down a touch, could you? Yep. It's quite nice with the sill there.
Nice with the sill, just
But
need to
it's
tweak
horrific
the door
with
a bit. So this is where we go back to the door now. You're trying to do that top edge first. Just get that.
Like it. There's this here. And get you to.
Okay, hold that in position.
That's sort of held itself.
It's done it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this front edge is a bit proud. Let me see if I can see, you can see that on the camera.
Look back here as well.
Back there as well.
The bottom edge of this door is out here.
Yep.
So we need the bottom of the door to move inwards. So
To get inwards and outwards movement, which hinge would you go
I'm going
for?
to go for these 2 bolts
Yep.
on this bottom hinge, loosen them off and try
Tuck it in.
hopefully we're not at the end of the travel.
Right, so to get the in and out travel on the door, we're going to be adjusting these bolts on this side of the hinge. These ones are for up and down, this one's for in and out. In and out.
In and out. Which way does it need to go though?
In.
I'll take one of the bolts out to see if it is slotted or not. Well,
Guess what? We've got no adjustment.
no adjustment at all.
Sometimes you get hinges with no adjustment on the doors, don't you?
Yeah. Well, we have to take the door off.
Door's coming off again. Great. Welcome to the wonderful world of panel adjustment.
Yay.
Right. Back in a bit, we're just taking the door back off.
Right, so we need this door to go further into the car. So if you imagine the hinge as a fixed point and the door moving, this bolt has to go further this way. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to take that out, which means this bolt hole, you see that clearly?
Yeah.
Needs to be further up, so we need to go half a hole up. And now it's not actually allowing us a lot of movement with the bolt,
Flange, yeah.
but we'll take what we can get with a door that fits this
As
bad.
much as we can have. It's not as if we're just going to put a little bit of an oval into it, aren't we? We're not going to...
This is door alignment.
It's
Door
just
alignment
gotta be
101.
done. Yeah.
Right, I've made some modifications to this hinge. As you can see, under all the primer, bit of rust.
Have no fear, we shall be
We're going to
sandblasting
sandblasting all of these
Yep.
and repainted them anyway. So I've slotted, so we're now gone from there to there. Nice, eh?
A little bit more adjustment.
All holes been slotted. I also found that this piece here was proud a little bit too much and was riding against there. And I have taken these bolts down to the same length as these bolts, which allows us to take the door on and off, which is great.
What a treat.
So now I'm going to put this back on and try it out.
Try it out.
Did you see how well that hinge went in there?
I did. It was ridiculously good.
Oh, look at that.
Much, but loads
That's
of
as far in
adjustment.
as it goes. It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much now. Right, now Lewis has slotted the hinge, you can see.
That's where the wing was, and this
That's
is where the door was. Now we've got the door to go all that way in.
Lining up with the silk.
But it does, or full in, is a little bit too far out up here. So
yeah, we can adjust that.
there's a balance in there somewhere. We've had a right old game of this, haven't we?
Oh yeah, on and off, on and off.
Oh, wing on and off, door on and off.
Right, so we've got to the point now, the door is on, and we could just do coming up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. See, this gap's a little bit tapered up a fraction. It'll square up this whole gap, line up this wedge better, line the top up a bit better, and help with the rear gap, which is tapered in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Okay, now that's it. Ready.
Yeah. Lovely shut in action there. Oh, look how much nicer that gap is now.
Yeah.
Oh, that swage lines up, and that front is so nice.
Our shut line at the top is looking good. Down the front edge is better.
Not perfect.
Not perfect, but better.
Still tweaking.
The rear of the door is looking good. Swage is lining up nice. Ignore that crease in the door. Swage is looking good. Bottom corner of the door looking nice. That front corner,
It's okay, the bolt in the bottom of the wing isn't in yet, and that
Yep.
will hold that a bit like that, which does help to close the gap up a bit. It would be nice if I could tighten this gap up a bit more, but I just don't think it's on the cards.
there's only so much you can do. Other side's done, this side's done. It is bonnet next.
Yeah, we better see how bad the bonnet is before we really finalise the
The
door.
wings, yeah. The temporary tape balls have been placed in position.
Yeah. Let's just see how this bonnet fits.
Right. This is genuinely the first shot. Please be okay, please be okay. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Here we go.
Ginger needs to go up.
Definitely low at the back there. What's the gap like?
Gap's nice this side.
Bit baggier on the other side.
On the other side, which is good because it's proud slightly on that front corner.
Mhm.
So if we get it back open, up here, back there.
Let's do it.
Cool?
Cool. So remember the bolts on the actual bonnet, they're for the front and back movement. The bolts on the hinge at the bottom are for the up and down movement.
Just push it back just a little bit. You don't want a lot. You really don't want a lot.
Up on the other side.
Right,
Okay.
let's
Do a test shot, I think. I can already tell from here that that back left
up too much.
is up too much.
It's not up to much though, is
It's not up to much.
Right, that needs to come. That's gone in nice and flush, but I'm more concerned about the back.
Yeah.
The back,
show this so you can see now it is far too high. Just even that small amount of movement, we've gone past the point. So we're just going to drop that back down a bit.
Day 2, you can tell because I am wearing different clothes. I got quite dirty yesterday, rolling around, trying to get all these wings bolted up. It was disgusting. But if you like this Lotus hoodie, then you can find it on our merch store, which is here somewhere.
Link,
if you click
link
that link
here.
It'll take you to our website, and from our website you can go to our merch store and find all sorts of cool stuff, including some socks.
Socks are amazing.
Socks are amazing. The Lotus hoodie is really nice actually, and other stuff. Yeah.
Bonnets.
We are doing a second stage of panel fitment, which is making sure all these little edges, which don't quite line up just yet, we're going to have to tweak the panels, bend the metal, put the door rubbers in. You have to put the door rubbers in, and any other rubber that might push the things
out
bonnet
of alignment,
panels high. You might have the doors perfectly lined up now, but you put the door rubbers on and shut the door, it might be a completely different story.
Especially if you think you're treating the car and you get a new set of rubbers.
Oh yeah, never buy new rubbers. New rubbers are a pain in the arse.
So this bit is a little bit rougher, isn't it, than putting the just the panels in. You got to be cruel to be kind.
You've got to be cruel to be kind, yeah. There's no point in having spent all this time and effort and having a bonnet that finishes like this. I mean, that's just a waste of everybody's time.
Don't be afraid of being rough.
You've got to bend the metal.
Yeah.
It's got to be bent. And this is the perfect
What tools
stage.
have you got to do that with?
I've got my trusty old bit of oak.
Yeah.
I don't think it is oak actually. It's too dark to be oak, isn't it?
It's wood.
I don't know what it is.
Hardwood.
It's hardwood. I've had it for many years. It's very good.
Lewis actually stole that from a pirate. That's a pirate's leg.
Yeah, I was trying to race him to the treasure of One-Eyed Billy. Anyway, a spoon. A panel beater spoon. These are really handy for getting between things and giving them a little bit of a
leverage.
tweak.
Yeah.
It don't work on the bonnet too well because it's not that well supported.
Handy tools to have.
Handy tool to have.
Next.
Trusty panel hammer. Always have a favourite hammer. This is my favourite hammer, and yeah, need to say more.
No, you need to stay more. It's a flat,
It is, you can tell.
flat-faced panel
If you
hammer.
look at all the other hammers I have, this one is 3 times more worn out than the other ones. It's well worn in, and it's my favourite little panel. Plus, it's my first panel hammer. For now, these are all the tools you're going to need. If I think we're going to need something else along the way, I'll demonstrate and show you along the way, which we probably will. I don't know. So, door rubbers, bonnet rubbers. Right then, let's see if the door still fits in the hole. It's definitely got the door rubber in now. I'll have to shut it. Oh, there's spring on the floor. Still really
Nicely
good.
in the hole. Good. Obviously, it sounds a bit rattly because there's no door cards or anything
Also,
in
if you are doing blocking, big blocking through the whole length of the car, like we will be doing, it's really handy to have the door rubbers in because this is where this door is going to live.
Yeah, that's its home now.
Yeah. So.
Right, that's the rubber stops put in for the bonnet. There we go. Rubber block at the back. Rubber. What do you got? Are they blocks or
Bonnet
bungs?
bonnet thingies.
Bonnet thingies at the front. You just pop that in, and you kind of screw the bung in. It spreads the feet. My words aren't working again today.
There we go. That goes in there like that, and that goes in there like that.
Right. Again, these are only temporary while we're doing the fit up. They'll all be coming out and getting redone.
And then inside the rubber is a Torx. If you have a look inside of that.
That's it. Hello.
Obviously, it's too high at the moment, so
Yeah.
we're going to wind it in. There-ish.
Job done. Let me see you wind this one in.
And we'll just check it with the bonnet.
Readjust the height.
going to be too high, but I'd rather...
Too high, yeah, but it's better to be able to work down. When we get the right height, I'll probably mark the thread with a pencil or something inconspicuous.
Or we can count the turns.
I'll count the turns, we won't remember. Right then. First test bit of the bonnet with the bungs in.
Oh dear.
Oh, oh dear.
Yeah, tape.
Oh.
That's obviously
way too
a little
high,
too
mister. Way too high.
So it's easy enough, we can just...
Yeah. Would you like me to hold it up?
I got it.
You got it? Still too high. Yeah, watch your fingers.
We're getting there.
Getting there, getting there.
Not bad. To the other side.
Right, back over to the other side. Same deal. At least there's adjustment on these ones, they're not just solid blocks.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Let's test it. Getting better.
Right, as you can see, it's sat a little high now, thanks to the rubber block that's been in there. It's pushed the whole bonnet up, so we need to try and push that rubber block down a fraction in order to get the bonnet back to where it is. If it was all painted nice and I wanted to adjust that, I'd just take the rubber block out, take it to a belt sander and take a couple of mil off until it fitted perfectly.
But luckily, you don't have to worry about
Don't
that
have to worry
now.
about that. We can hit the metal down a little bit and just knock it into place, or stand up and push it. Staying alive.
Get any give then?
Yeah, it's definitely improving.
Now, if you look carefully, you see Lewis is pressing down that corner here. The bonnet actually slightly dips down towards the middle and then comes back up again towards the front edge. So once Lewis has got that corner where he's happy with it, we're going to have to deal with this bit. I need to explain this. So here we go. Lewis is putting his piece of tree in there, and we're going to pull the bonnet down. It's going to lift this edge up in the middle.
Actually, we're going to do it like this.
Okay.
And then just very gently.
Just pushing down on the front edge of the bonnet slightly, just to raise that up.
There we go.
Doesn't make any sharp dents.
Wiggle the bonnet a little bit, make sure it's settling where you need it to settle.
That's it. Look at that. That one tweak has just brought the middle of that bonnet up. Now this bloody hinge has got back. Oh my god.
Backwards and forwards.
Panels. Get back down. No, we're gonna have to do more tweaking there. But as you can see, much better. Much better along there. Are these new rubber blocks for the bonnet?
Probably, they look fairly new, I have no idea. May have just pushed it down just enough. It's clearly winding on something in here, which is holding it up there. Let's have a look.
Still high. Please focus. You see there? Hold on. Focus. Still a little bit high.
Well, I can literally do this for hours.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everyone wants to watch me open and close a bonnet for hours on end.
So what you're going to do, you're going to keep on doing that until you're
it's
happy with
right,
it, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Right. See you in a while.
In 5 minutes.
Right, that's Lewis. He's finished fettling the bonnet. Shut lines are lovely, I must say. All up on here, all across. Here we go. Look. Beautiful.
It'll still need a bit of filler work here and there. I mean, the top of this wing is horrific.
Yeah.
And it will get doused in spray filler and blocked to death. But I've got my last bit. My last bit. The other door is been tweaked and adjusted, and this door I am now tweaking and adjusting.
Right, so show me the last bit.
So tweaked and adjusted the back.
Yep.
Now the back edge of the door is fitting flush all the way up.
So you're super happy with that edge.
Super happy with that edge.
Brilliant. And the last bit.
Here. See, we are nice and flush at the top.
You see? Yep.
And as we go down,
You can see the gap there on the spoon. Not flush. So Lewis is going to zoom
so all we have
noises.
to do, get the old spoon in there, give it a bit of a tweak and a check, and a tweak and a check, until we're happy with how things are.
Just keep manipulating that skin.
Whether it be the door that moves or the wing that moves, I don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care.
As long as it lines up, it's all good. Here we go.
Not bad. So, most importantly, after you've done a bit of this sort of jiggery pokery, open and close the door. After you've tweaked it and you think you've got it 100%, open and close the door. Chances are it'll go back to where you were.
You just got to do it again.
It has moved in, but nowhere near as much as I'd moved it. So
Little
what you've got
bits.
to do, tweak it again, open and shut the door until that doesn't move anymore. Because if you were to do all that bendy stuff, and really nice, well yeah, really happy with that, put filler on it, primer on it, and then you come to fit the door for the last time, it doesn't fit anymore because everything relaxed back to where it was when you took the door off. So just check it. Always worth checking.
Saves the tears later on.
It certainly does. Just check it.
It's like doing a factory reset.
It is. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Let me see. Now that, let me zoom in. That is what we're talking about.
It's not 100%, but it's going to have a lot of spray filler in it.
Yeah. Now that is basically it. You keep doing that over and over and over again until you're happy with the gaps on your car.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. So I think it's. I think we move on to the next stage. Yeah, which is a bit of filler work.
Filler work.
Bit of filler work. So
Lewis has already had a few goes.
because the things on the ramp.
Yeah.
It's
The
so
low
much
stuff.
easier to do the sills and the lower down bits.
Yeah.
So yeah, join us in the next episode for a brief tutorial on filler work.
Brief how-to filler work.
Hi. I think we're going to do this down here.
Every
lovely
time I
looking
see that catches my eye. Look at this. That is a quality one. We'll show you how to fill that. Right then.
What's this? What's this here? What's this? What's
Oh.
that? Oh, it's dent.
Excuse me, that's a rust detector, not a dent detector.
She doesn't like it. You don't like it, do you?
Right then, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.